क्या मेरी आवाज आ रही है? आवाज आवाज आवाज। हेलो 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 हेलो। आवाज आ रही है ना? चलो बहुत ही बढ़िया। तो यस, आवाज आने लग गई है। व्हाट्सअप 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 पीपल। हाँ, यहाँ पर भी सिस्टम में आवाज दिख रही है। वो मेरी फटियार, मैं पिछले 10 15 मिनट से यही खेल रहा हूँ। मेरी स्क्रीन नहीं चल रही। अच्छा, स्क्रीन तो इसलिए नहीं चल रही प्रॉब्लम बिकॉज ऑफ some plugin failures, but I'm not so technically rich as to probably correct this up. तो प्रसाद भी I would probably come in the later half of the day, but तब तक the show must go on. And वैसे भी dictations के roles हैं, so we don't need the screen and you need me, I need you, so it looks pretty much fine. Okay, people. I'm a CA student, but still don't know why I'm watching you, Mrinal, because you don't know. Someday we might cross paths, and someday maybe I could be of some help, or you could be of some help to me. So it's okay. Hanji, I will update. Okay, dosto. So I don't think we have much time to waste. We've already wasted quite a few minutes of your amazing life. I would want to utilize the next few minutes. चले दोस्तों, शुरू करें। क्या आप में से कोई मुझे ये बता पाएगा कि हमारी समरी नोट कहां तक हो गई है? मैं फोन में सिर्फ, मेरी स्क्रीन यहाँ पे काम नहीं कर रही, तो मैं फोन में सिर्फ स्क्रीन ओपन कर रहा हूँ जस्ट टू कीप अ रेफरेंस एज टू व्हाट आई हैव टू मेक यू राइट। मीनवाइल प्लीज बताइए। कि हमें लिखना कहां से है, क्योंकि मेरी स्क्रीन नहीं चल रही है तो हम चार्ट्स नहीं बना पाएंगे। बट एटलीस्ट पेज नंबर बता दोगे क्या प्लीज? सर आई कॉल्ड इट प्रेस्टीज फॉर अ फोटो, बट आपने बोला कल करते हैं और फिर वो कभी नहीं हो पाया। हाँ भाई, तू वापस आ यार। आई विल कॉल यू फॉर अ फोटो नाउ। हाँ जी दोस्तों, सो दिस इज शरान। लेट्स स्टार्ट विथ योर फर्दर राइटिंग स्किल्स। अच्छा, बाय द वे, हाउ इज द समरी बुक हेल्पिंग? इज इट वर्थ इट? रिविजन्स करके देखे, पढ़ के देखा दोस्तों? ओके, अरेस्ट ऑफ अ पर्सन हो गया है। परफेक्ट। 100% वर्थ इट। थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू सो मच। ओके, चले शुरू करते लिखना। उठाएं अपनी पुस्तक। एंड am I correct while I say that we have to write from the changes introduced by BNSS? बहुत ही बढ़िया, परफेक्ट जानवी। चलो, 3 2 1 एक्शन। ओके, पुट अप अ नोट। पुट अप द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट एज नोट। क्या लिखोगे? नोट। हाँ जी, नोट में लिखें नो अरेस्ट, नो अरेस्ट, नो अरेस्ट shall be made, shall be made without the prior permission of the DSP, without the prior permission of the DSP. without the prior permission of the DSP. In offences which are punishable, in offences which are punishable, in offences which are punishable with imprisonment of less than 3 years. तो दो conditions with imprisonment of less than 3 years and such person is an infirm or above the age of 60 is infirm or above the age of 60. Okay, done. Next heading लिखेंगे certain measures to be followed under section 35. Under section 35. इसके अंदर एबीसी करके लिखेंगे, इसके अंदर एबीसी करके लिखेंगे ए in any case where the arrest is not required, in any case where the arrest is not required, in any case where the arrest is not required, in any case where the arrest is not required, the police officer should issue a notice. The police officer shall issue a notice to the suspect to appear before him on a particular date or time, on a particular date or time. अब राजा बी करके लिखो, बी where such notice is issued to any person, where such notice is issued to any person then it shall be the duty of that person to comply with the terms of the notice, and where he complies with it, and where he complies with it, he should not be arrested. He should not be arrested unless the police officer feels that arrest is required, with reasons to be recorded, Done बच्चों? Done? भाई मैं अभी उठा हूं, डायरेक्ट उठा, मॉर्निंग रिचुअल्स पूरे किए, ब्रश किया और यहां आके बैठ गया। 10:30 बजे तो उठा हूं मैं आज। So my morning coffee is with you if this is the morning. हाँ जी, done. Go ahead. Put a procedure of arrest. Procedure of arrest. Okay. Every police officer, every police officer, while making an arrest, shall, every police officer, while making an arrest, shall, A करके लिखना, bear an accurate, visible identification of his name, identification of his name. B, identification of his name. B, prepare an arrest memorandum. Prepare an arrest memorandum. Prepare an arrest memorandum. Prepare an arrest memorandum which should be duly attested. Which should be duly attested. Which should be duly attested. Prepare an arrest memorandum which shall be duly attested by the which shall be duly attested by the person belonging to his family, by a person belonging to his family, or any other respectable person, 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 and should be countersigned by the person to be arrested, and should be countersigned by the person to be arrested. एक घंटे में हो जाएगा बेटू. Should be countersigned by the person to be arrested. बच्चों अभी तक अपने दो पॉइंट्स लिखे, राइट? अभी तक अपने दो पॉइंट्स लिखे, राइट? 1 2 ऐसा लिखा ना? Yes. Okay. Third point. Inform the arrested person. Inform the arrested person. ठीक है. C. Inform the arrested person that he has a right to connect with a relative or a friend. To connect with a relative or a friend to inform about the arrest. To inform about the arrest. To inform about the arrest. Unless the memorandum itself, unless the memorandum itself, unless the memorandum itself is attested by a family member. Unless the memorandum itself is attested by a family member. थोड़ा सा आवाज कम अगर हो सके तो बहुत अच्छा रहेगा. ऊपर तक चीख चीख की आवाज आ रही है तो धन्यवाद. और हो सके तो एक और कॉफी भिजवा देना. ओके. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट नोट करके लिखो, नेक्स्ट को नोट करके लिखो, नोट। नोट द पर्सन अरेस्टेड हैज द राइट टू मीट a choice, meet an advocate of his choice. Meet an advocate of his choice. To meet an advocate of his choice. Comma, though he cannot be with him throughout the interrogation. He cannot be with him throughout the interrogation. He cannot be with him throughout the interrogation. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट मतलब ए बी सी हो गया आपका। अब एक काम करो ना, पॉइंट नहीं डाल दो ऐसे, पॉइंट कोई दिक्कत नहीं, ओके डाल दो पॉइंट। ओके, इन अरविंद कुमार वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ बिहार, the Supreme Court held, the Supreme Court held that the power of arrest, that the power of arrest, that the power of arrest is a lucrative, lucrative मतलब कहता है जो लुभाता है, is a lucrative source of police corruption, is a lucrative source of police corruption. And many a times, and many a times, it becomes a tool of corruption. It becomes a tool of corruption. Tool of corruption. And hence the court stated, and hence the court stated that whenever a crime happens, that whenever a crime happens which is punishable up to 7 years, which is punishable up to 7 years, which is punishable up to 7 years, then the person should not be arrested, then the person should not be arrested in a routine manner, and all the preconditions must be satisfied, and all the preconditions must be satisfied. All the preconditions must be satisfied. Done. Next. हेडिंग की तरह डालेंगे अरेस्ट ऑन रिफ्यूजल टू गिव नेम एंड रेसिडेंस, अरेस्ट ऑन रिफ्यूजल टू गिव नेम एंड रेसिडेंस। सर चेंजेस इन बीएनएस, ऐसा क्वेश्चन आ सकता है क्या? शार्दुल अगर आ भी गया तो मैंने सारे के सारे चेंजेस आपके नोट्स में रेड हाईलाइट करके रखे हुए हैं, so don't worry, we are well prepared for any of such questions, although that doesn't really make sense, but still it may turn up, you never know. सर आज अलग दिख रहे हो कुछ एकदम कूल, क्या नाइट ड्रेस ब्रा, दिस इज हाउ यू एक्चुअली, मतलब मैं थोड़ा सा ऐसे ही सोता हूँ ब्रा. Okay bro, let's go ahead. When any person, when any person is accused of committing a non-cognizable offense, is accused of committing a non-cognizable offense, of committing a non-cognizable offense, refuses or provides false information, refuses or provides false information about his name and residence, about his name and residence, about his name and residence, then he may be arrested, then he may be arrested, then he may be arrested second point, provided further, मुझे लगता है कि अपने यस के मेन क्लास से अच्छा कैमरा मेरा है, इसका जूम पार देगा यार तुम, और बोलो प्रोवाइडेड, और पास हो, रुको और पास जाता हूँ, हाँ बस, आ तो मैं इसके भी ज्यादा पास सकता हूँ, बट और कितना, रुको फोकस कर देते हैं, हाँ जी, provided that the person arrested, provided that the person arrested should be released, should be released, ये मेरा टैटू दिखाऊं क्या, should be released as soon as the name and residence of the person is ascertained, as soon as the name and residence of the person is ascertained. मैंने अभी भी ये टैटू रीडू करवाया, कैन आई, दिख रहे तुम बाबा, यार ये कैमरे का अलग प्रॉब्लम, अब इधर आएगा बाबा का या तो नंदी या फिर त्रिशूल, and that's the meditating Shiva, if you could see. Okay, let me go far again. Okay, that's my desk. इस पे एक एनिमे पड़ा रहता है, यहाँ फोन पड़ा हुआ है, ओके अब ठीक है, मस्त ना, थैंक्स, हाँ जी, तो मैंने बोला दैट ही शुड बी रिलीज्ड इफ हिज नेम इज असर्टेन, सी नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इसी के अंदर, सी फर्दर इफ हिज ट्रू नेम एंड रेसिडेंस कैन नॉट बी असर्टेन, Further, if his true name and residence cannot be ascertained within 24 hours, within 24 hours, then he should be forwarded to the nearest magistrate. Then he should be forwarded to the nearest magistrate. Then he should be forwarded to the nearest magistrate. Within 24 hours. Within 24 hours. यस का कैमरा मुझसे भी बेहतर है. प्रॉब्लम है यस की कैमरा सेटिंग्स. जिस दिन विकास मुझे रिक्वेस्ट करेगा दैट प्लीज ब्रो हेल्प मी, प्लीज मेक मी do these videos into a 4K, I'll help him. Tell him that he needs vitamin C. यो ब्रो आगे बढ़ेंगे. अच्छा अब है ना नेक्स्ट कुछ चीजें डालते जाएंगे. पॉइंट लिखना. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट है अरेस्ट बाय प्राइवेट पर्सन और डैश करना मैं उसी के आगे लिखवाऊंगा. अरेस्ट बाय प्राइवेट पर्सन डैश करना उसी के आगे लिखाऊंगा. अरेस्ट बाय प्राइवेट पर्सन. इसके अंदर लिखेंगे इफ एनी पर्सन कमिट्स, if any person commits, if any person commits a cognizable offense, a cognizable offense, a cognizable offense if any person commits a cognizable offense in the presence of a in the presence of a in the presence of a private person, in the presence of a private person, then he may arrest, then he may arrest the person. However, यहां से जो मैं लिखा रहा हूं उसके नीचे लाइन ड्रॉ कर देना क्योंकि अमेंडमेंट है. ठीक है. However, जो अब लिखाऊंगा, he should hand over the person to a police officer. He should hand over the person to a police officer within 6 hours from such arrest. Within 6 hours from such arrest. Within 6 hours from such arrest. ठीक है. इसके नीचे लाइन ड्रॉ कर देना. ठीक. अरेस्ट बाय मजिस्ट्रेट तो लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. नेक्स्ट हेडिंग डालो. अरेस्ट हाउ टू बी मेड. अरेस्ट हाउ टू बी मेड. Arrest how to be made. इसके अंदर लिखेंगे 1 2 3 4 करके लिखना. While making an arrest, the police officer can touch or confine the body. can touch or confine the body, unless the person voluntarily submits to custody, voluntarily submits to custody, voluntarily submits to custody. बी, मतलब जो भी आप 1 2 लिख रहे हो जैसे भी. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, if the person shows resistance, if the person shows resistance or attempts to evade the arrest, or attempts to evade the arrest, comma, then the police officer may use necessary force. Then the police officer may use necessary force. Comma, however, this section does not give, this section does not give this section does not give a right to cause the death of the person, the right to cause death of a person who is not accused, who is not accused of an offense punishable with death or LI, of an offense punishable with death or LI. दोस्तों मैंने कॉफी मांगी थी ना, मैंने अभी कॉफी मांगी थी कि नहीं मांगी थी? मम्मा, मधु, अगर किसी को आवाज आ रही हो तो अगर एक कॉफी मिल जाती तो भगवान तुम्हारा भला करता. मैं सब जवाब भी नहीं दे रहे लोग. याद रखना, अगर घर वाले जवाब देना बंद कर दे मतलब बगावत आसपास है. माँ और बीवी दोनों वॉकी पे नहीं आ रहे. दिस मीन्स थ्रेट अलर्ट, थ्रेट अलर्ट, थ्रेट अलर्ट. ठीक है, अगर कभी भी ऐसा हो जहां पर आपको दिख रहा है कि घर वाले इज्जत नहीं दे रहे हैं, वैसे पता तो अपने को है कि संडे के दिन भी घर बैठ के सुबह उठ के पढ़ा रहा है, तो दैट्स नॉर्मल. गलती क्या है हमें ये पता है. अब हमें ये नहीं जानना कि गलती क्या है, अब हमें सुझाव चाहिए. अब देखो ऐसे टाइम पे क्या करना होता है. लाइफ लेसन्स चिराग #part 1. यो डूड व्हाट्सअप. मैं ऐसे ही तुम्हें याद कर रहा था भाई. चलते हुए शॉपिंग वॉपिंग नहीं करनी क्या आज? लेक्चर ये 15 20 25 मिनट का है. ठीक है, वो तेरा कॉल है, मैं तेरे साथ हूँ तो तू भी शॉपिंग कर ले. मम्मी को शॉपिंग करानी, मम्मी को भी शॉपिंग करवा दे. मम्मी को, पापा को, जिन जिन को शॉपिंग करनी है. ठीक है. और मैं ना वो वॉकी पे इधर भेज रहा था कि एक कॉफी चाहिए, बट नो वन वाज रिस्पॉन्डिंग. थैंक्स. ठीक है, तो अभी उसके बाद अपन, अभी बस तुम लोग जल्दी तैयार है ना, मेरे को कुछ नहीं है, मैं तो बस फटफट चल दूंगा. तो बढ़िया शॉपिंग वॉपिंग करो. ओके ब्रो, टेक केयर, बाय. ओके, नाउ दैट्स हाउ यू बाय रिस्पेक्ट. ठीक है. बस बहुत ही बढ़िया। तो याद रहे, आप दुखी नहीं हैं, आप गरीब हैं। ठीक है, पैसा कमाओ, खुशियां आ जाएंगी। क्या कह रहे हो तुम? अबे वाघ बकरी दौड़ के आएगी यहाँ पे। चलो। हाँ जी, तो अब वापस आते हैं। हमने इज्जत कमा ली है, आपने देखा इज्जत कैसे कमाई जाती है। अम, और उन्होंने वॉकी का जो सर, आपका वॉकी टॉकी ऑन तो नहीं? अरे वॉकी टॉकी तो हमेशा ऑन ही होता है ना राजा। इसमें बस यहाँ से एक बटन प्रेस करना होता है। कैन यू सी? दैट्स इट। तो वो लोग बोल रहे हैं कि उन्होंने नीचे वॉकी बंद कर रखा था फॉर सम रीजंस। तो मेरे यहाँ से मैं बोल रहा था, पर वहां उनके सर पे आवाज गिर नहीं रही थी। 50 की कॉफी के लिए 20,000 उड़ा दिए। बात समझो दोस्त, बात कॉफी की नहीं थी, बात शब्दों की थी। जब कभी तुम्हें लगे शब्दों का वजन कम पड़ रहा है, वजन डाल दो ताकि तकलीफ न रहे। समझेगा? आओ पधारो, अब तो नाश्ता देंगे भाई साहब इज्जत के साथ। आइए सर। तो इसी उम्मीद के साथ कि आप भी बहुत जल्दी बहुत सारा पैसा कमाएं, आगे बढ़ते हैं। हाँ जी, फॉर लाइफ वाला लिखा था अपन ने। नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, द पुलिस ऑफिसर फर्दर ऑल्सो हैज अ राइट, द पुलिस ऑफिसर फर्दर ऑल्सो हैज अ राइट, द पुलिस ऑफिसर ऑल्सो हैज अ right to pursue any offender, to pursue any offender at any place in India, at any place in India, at any place in India for the purpose of, for the purpose of his arrest, for the purpose of his arrest. घर में वॉकी टॉकी, बाबू मेरा ड्यूल स्टोरी हाउस है ना, तो कौन चिल्ला चिल्ला के गला खराब करे, तो हर फ्लोर पे एक रख देने का। हाँ जी। ओके, तो परस्यू हो गया। हम्म, ठीक है। अब और अच्छा देखो, अभी मैंने क्या किया ना, मैंने आपके सामने पहले सारे के सारे जनरलाइज पॉइंट लिखा है। अब मैं औरत वाले पॉइंट लिखा रहा हूं। नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, फर्दर, where a woman is to be arrested, where a woman is to be arrested, where a woman is to be arrested, then it requires the presence of a female police officer, shall require the presence of a female police officer. Next point, as per the gravity of the offense, as per the gravity of the offense, as per the gravity of the offense, the police officer may use handcuff. The police officer may use handcuff while making the arrest, while making the arrest, or producing the person before the court, or producing the person before the court. Next point, handcuff is generally used, handcuff is generally used, yes Bhairav, handcuff is generally used when the person is a habitual offender, when the person is a habitual offender or who has escaped 20-25 हजार की कॉफी। नहीं, 1 लाख। तुम नाराज ही रहो, मुझसे बात मत करो बेटा। वो ज्ञान जो मैंने दिया था वो फिटूस करना, ₹1 लाख ज्यादा हो गया। मैडम इतना तो गुस्से वाली चीजें भी नहीं करता मैं। करता है 50,000, 1,01,000। बाप है, चल के थी माँ। चलो कोई बात नहीं, ओके। हाँ जी, हैंडकफ इज जनरली डन इन केस ऑफ हैबिचुअल ऑफेंडर और in case of organized crime or in case of organized crime or in case of organized crime, comma, illegal arms and ammunition, illegal possession of arms and ammunition, comma, murder, rape, etc. Murder, rape, etc. मर्डर रेप एक्सेट्रा। सर वैसे जब आपने वॉकी टॉकी पर धीरे बात करने को बोला तब उनको सुनाई दिया, और आपने जब कॉफी बुलाई तो आवाज नहीं आई। राजा धीरे भी उन्होंने अपनी मर्जी से किया हुआ, तो मुझे लगता है मेरी माँ को मेरे बोलने से कोई फर्क पड़ता है। रेप, मर्डर एक्सेट्रा। ओके, नेक्स्ट पॉइंट। No women shall be arrested after sunset. No women shall be arrested after sunset and before sunrise. After sunset and before sunrise. And in case of exceptional circumstances, a female police officer after obtaining prior permission of the magistrate of first class, after obtaining prior permission of the magistrate of the first class, of the magistrate of first class, may arrest. May arrest. Arrest. हाँ जी, next point. The police officer shall, without any delay, the police officer shall, without any delay, the police officer shall, the police officer shall, without any delay, present the person in front of the court, present the person in front of the court within 24 hours of arrest, within 24 hours of arrest, excluding the time of the journey, excluding the time of the journey, excluding the time of the journey. एक ही मिनट रुकोगे दोस्त, माय टैटू आर्टिस्ट इज कॉलिंग. हाय शानिका, गुड आफ्टरनून. Just a minute, I'll check. Just a minute. Uh-huh. ये see the second one with the red color is not something which I really like. I don't know why, but then जैसे the pose I don't like it. इससे ऊपर वाला जो आपने भेजा, that looks nice, but that probably I'm just unable to understand how it is going to look on the hand. So what you're saying is that we'll probably make it diagonal, and no, I'm just asking. So you're going to make it diagonal on the hand, where Lasya is holding the finger.
Correct.
Okay, I can click a picture like this, and
Good. And after that, Vicky will show you what it looks like.
I can अपने बच्चे कुछ भी करेंगे तो वो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. सो आई हैव मैंने आपको एक और भेजा है क्या इस रेफरेंस में which I've sent you. Can you suggest me more such pictures which I could for the cross reference click. Say I've sent you on the WhatsApp.
You like?
Yeah, probably like this. Yeah, perfect. Something which maybe what for the tattoo. Say like the style, the first style that a shade. Probably I don't want more colors. We can probably rethink again for the color, like what is done in this. But I'm more on the other side. ठीक है, मैं एक बार ये भी और देख लेता हूँ एंड वी कैन फिक्स ऑन. आप मीनवाइल खाली अगर मुझे जो फर्स्ट वाला पोज है अगर उसके कोई और रेफरेंसेस एंड I'm be one thing very I'm okay with is I'm okay to changes. So if the other side looks better, we can work in that way. There's no problem to it. Perfect.
One second.
Do one thing, no, Shanik, you just send me. I'll just check it in 10 minutes and revert back whether works. Perfect.
Alright.
Bye. Yes, dudes. Yo, आदिबा यू बीन सिंह से लिखवाओ ना. अगर मुझे कॉल आया है और वो इम्पोर्टेंट है पिक करना तो आई विल टॉक. ठीक है, प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड. और आपको संडे बनाया तो वेरी वेल अलाउड टू लीव राइट नाउ. आई एम नॉट अकस्टम टू वर्क विथ यू राइट एंड यू नॉट इनवाइटेड. हाँ जी दोस्तों, हम कहाँ तक पहुंच गए थे. ऐसे लोग साला दिखते ना मेरे को और खा रहा था फिर। तो राजा अपन ने लिख लिया था ना। Okay, should be forwarded to the nearest magistrate, but that was for 24 hours, right? 24 hours वाला पॉइंट कंप्लीट हो गया था ना। समाधान मेरे भाई। Okay, by the way, for the person who is writing over here, Samadhan is a CS, is working with Bajaj. He's a cute little brother to me. बहुत ज़्यादा प्यार करता है मेरे से और I think मैं भी. And at the same time, he was the All India all-time highest scorer of EBCL, which is now known as ECIPL. And बहुत ही humble बच्चा है यार. Extraordinary. समाधान है, miss you dude. चल, next up. Next point लिखेंगे. समाधान अगर मेरे बच्चों के लिए कोई सजेशन देके जाना चाहते हो तो प्लीज देके जाना। नेक्स्ट अप, द मजिस्ट्रेट टू whom an accused person is forwarded, the magistrate to whom an accused person is forwarded, irrespective of his, irrespective of him having jurisdiction or not, irrespective of him having jurisdiction or not, irrespective of him having jurisdiction or not, can order detention of a person, can order detention of a person, can order detention of a person for a term not exceeding, for a term not exceeding 15 days in whole or in parts. 15 days in whole or in parts. At any time during the first 40 days, at any time during the first 40 days, out of the detention of 60 days, out of the detention of 60 days, or in the first 60 days, or in the first 60 days out of the 90 days, out of the 90 days. Next point, for any further detention, for any further detention, for any further detention, the accused must be sent to the competent magistrate. To a competent magistrate. अच्छा लल्लो, जब ये पॉइंट अपन पढ़ रहे थे तब अपने को बहुत मेहनत लगी थी कि अब ये पॉइंट एकदम टकाटक क्लियर हो। देखो मैंने कैसे लिखा है उसको, फर्स्ट 40 डेज इन केस ऑफ ऑफेंस अप टू 60 डेज, फर्स्ट 60 डेज इन ऑफेंस ऑफ 90 डेज। देखो समझ में, आई लव इट हो गाइस। समाधान यहाँ पे आया था ना, तो मैं सिर्फ समाधान के बारे में बता रहा था, ऐसे तुमसे कोई प्यार कम थोड़ी है। Pranjal, I think in your case I stated the accused should be forwarded to the nearest magistrate or to the competent magistrate, I think. Done people. बहुत ही बढ़िया। Almost there, you're halfway through. अब जल्दी होगा, हेडिंग डालो समन्स एंड वारंट्स, समन्स एंड वारंट्स, पुट अप द हेडिंग समन्स एंड वारंट्स। समन्स एंड वारंट्स, इसके अंदर फर्स्ट लिखेंगे अ समन should always be in writing. A summon should always be in writing, signed by the preceding officer of the court, signed by the preceding officer of the court, and shall bear the seal of the court, and shall bear the seal of the court, and shall bear the seal of the court. Or it may be in an encrypted or any other electronic form, or it may be encrypted or any other form, any other electronic form, bearing the seal of the court, bearing the seal of the court, bearing the seal of the court, or digital signature. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, समन्स के अंदर ही चल रहे हैं अपन। नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, where the person summoned cannot be found, where the person summoned cannot be found, cannot be found, then the person summoned, then the person to be summoned, then the person to be summoned then the person to be summoned may be informed through, may be informed through any adult member of his family, any adult member of his family, any adult member of his family, by leaving one of the copy of summon with them, by leaving a copy of the summon with them. And the person receiving the summon should sign the acknowledgement. And the person receiving the summon should sign the acknowledgement. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, summon on corporate bodies, summon on corporate bodies, summon on corporate bodies summon on corporate bodies can be sent to the registered office, can be sent to the registered office, to the registered office by serving it on, by serving it on upon the director slash secretary of the company, upon the director slash secretary of the company. Next point, In case of firms, it may be served upon any partner of the firm. In case of firm, it may be served upon any partner of the firm. Next point, नेक्स्ट हेडिंग डालना सब्सटीट्यूटेड सर्विस ऑफ समन। ए राजा, सब्सटीट्यूट का मतलब क्या है कि पहला तरीका काम नहीं आया तो हम सब्सटीट्यूटेड फॉर्म यूज कर रहे हैं, राइट। सो सब्सटीट्यूटेड सर्विस ऑफ समन, जिन लोगों की बुद्धि नहीं चलती है कि इसका मतलब है व्हेन फर्स्ट वे इज नॉट पॉसिबल, तो आप स्लैश करके लिख लेना व्हेन समन कैन नॉट बी सर्व्ड। मैं तो मेरी तरफ से खाली सब्सटीट्यूटेड सर्विस ऑफ समन ही बोल रहा हूं, पर अगर आपकी बुद्धि ना चले उस टाइम तो आप पहले ही लिख लेना। सब्सटीट्यूट सर्विस ऑफ समन, इसके अंदर लिखेंगे अपन अब if the person to be summoned cannot be if the person to be summoned cannot be if the person to be summoned cannot be found, then a duplicate of the summon can be then the duplicate of a summon can be pasted on any conspicuous part of the house, can be pasted on any conspicuous part of the on the conspicuous part of the house, and thereafter the court may declare that the summon has been served, and thereafter the court may declare that the summon has been served, or order fresh service of summon, or order fresh service of summon. Or order fresh service of summon. Next point, where the person to be summoned is a government officer, where the person to be summoned is a government officer, when the person to be summoned is a government officer, then the court sends a copy of the summon, to the head of the office, हे भगवान, हेड क्यों निकल रहा है मेरे मुंह से, प्लीज गॉड संभाल लेना, चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी, to the head of the office, who should give his acknowledgement, and be responsible to send the person before the court, before the court. Next up, next point. The same procedure is followed while issuing a summon to the witness. The same procedure is followed to issue a summon to a witness. And if an acknowledgement is received by the court, if an acknowledgement is received by the court, stating that the witness refused to accept the summon, then the court may declare the summon to be duly served. May declare the summon to be duly served. The summon to be duly served. नेक्स्ट हेडिंग डालेगा प्रोक्लेमेशन एंड अटैचमेंट. प्रोक्लेमेशन एंड अटैचमेंट, इसके अंदर फर्स्ट पॉइंट डालेंगे. An order of proclamation or attachment is an order of proclamation or attachment is issued when a warrant remains unexecuted. When a warrant remains unexecuted. When a warrant remains unexecuted. Second point. If the court has reason to believe that any person against whom a warrant has been issued is concealing himself in order to avoid the warrant, then the court may publish a written proclamation. Requiring the person to appear before the court. at a specified time which shall not be less than 30 days. Which shall not be less than 30 days. Which shall not be less than 30 days. Next point. The court issuing the proclamation may, for reasons to be recorded in writing, may, for the reasons to be recorded in writing, may, for the reasons to be recorded in writing, at any time after the proclamation is issued, after the proclamation is issued, order the attachment of the property. Order the attachment of the property. ब्रैकेट में लिखना प्रॉपर्टी कैन बी मूवेबल और इमूवेबल. प्रॉपर्टी कैन बी मूवेबल और इमूवेबल. Next point. If at the time of issuance of proclamation, if at the time of issuance of proclamation, the court is of the opinion, if at the time of issuance of proclamation, the court is of the opinion that the person may dispose of the whole or part of the property, the whole or part of the property, then the court may attach the property. Then the court may attach the property at the time of issuance of proclamation. At the time of issuance of proclamation. Next point. The object of attaching the property. The object of attaching the property is not to punish, but to compel, his appearance, his appearance. His appearance. Next heading डालना summons to produce. Next heading डालना summons to produce. इसके लिखना where a court requires any person, where a court requires any person, where a court requires any person to produce a document, then he may be compelled, then he may be compelled. Then he may be compelled by issuing a summon or a warrant. By issuing a summon or a warrant. Next point, a search warrant may be issued in the following circumstances. A search warrant may be issued in the following circumstances. A search warrant may be issued in the following circumstances. A, where the court believes that the person having the document, that the person having the document that the person having the document will not produce the document, will not produce the document. Will not produce the document. B, such a document is not known by the court. Such a document is not known by the court to be in the possession of any person. To be in the possession of any person. To be in the possession of any person. C, the court considers a general search. The court considers a general search as an option to find out if there is any document. As an option to find out if there is any document. As an option to find out if there is any document. If there is any document. Next point. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, नोट करके लिखना, नोट, और उसमें डैश करके लिखना, वारंट shall be issued for searching a document or parcel, for searching a document or parcel in the postal or telegraph authority, in the postal or telegraph authority, in the postal or telegraph authority by a magistrate other than a CJM, by a magistrate other than the CJM, by a magistrate other than the CJM. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, सर्च ऑफ अ प्लेस। अच्छा, नेक्स्ट पॉइंट मतलब हेडिंग है, हेडिंग, सर्च ऑफ अ प्लेस suspected to have a stolen property. Search of a place suspected to have a stolen property. Search of a place suspected to have a stolen property. इसके अंदर लिखेंगे a magistrate of the first class or above, a magistrate of the first class or above if has reason to believe, if has reason to believe, if has reason to believe that any place, that any place is used to store or sell any stolen property, is used to store or sell any stolen property, or has any objectionable article, or has any objectionable article, then the magistrate may, then the magistrate may, then the magistrate may, by warrant, authorize any police officer, authorize any police officer above the rank of a constable, above the rank of a constable, above the rank of a constable. 2, अब उसके अंदर एबीसीडी करके लिखना, 2 एबीसीडी करके लिखना, ए एंटर सच प्लेस, ए एंटर सच प्लेस, बी search such place, C take possession of the property or article, take possession of the property or article, which is reasonably suspected to be stolen property, which is reasonably suspected to be stolen property, which is reasonably suspected to be stolen property or objectionable article. D convey the property to the nearest magistrate, to the nearest magistrate. E to take every person arrested in front of the magistrate. In front of the magistrate. Next point, objectionable articles means objectionable articles means objectionable articles means A. Counterfeit coins, B. Counterfeit currency notes, B. Counterfeit currency notes, C. Counterfeit stamps, C. Counterfeit stamps, D. Forged documents, E. False seals, false seals, false seals. Next, objectionable, sorry, obscene objects, obscene objects, obscene objects. उसी में next, instruments used for the production of the same. Instruments used for the production of the same. Next, बोलूं, लिख लिया तक, बोलो नेक्स्ट. और कितने, आधा घंटा और. हमने ऑलमोस्ट 10 पेज लिख लिए हैं, 5 एक पेज तो और लिखते हैं. चलो नेक्स्ट, सर्च फॉर पर्सन रॉन्गफुली कन्फाइंड, सर्च फॉर पर्सन रॉन्गफुली कन्फाइंड. If the magistrate of the first class, if the magistrate of the first class, if the magistrate of the first class or above has reason to believe, has reason to believe, has reason to believe that any person is confined, that any person is confined anywhere without any reason, anywhere without any reason, without any reason, then he may issue a search warrant for the person confined. Then he may issue a search warrant for the person confined. And the person, if found, and the person, if found, shall be produced before the magistrate, shall be produced before the magistrate, and the magistrate then may take any suitable order, and the magistrate then may take any suitable order, any suitable order. Done. नेक्स्ट हेडिंग डालो समरी ट्रायल्स, नेक्स्ट हेडिंग डालो समरी ट्रायल्स, नेक्स्ट हेडिंग डालो समरी ट्रायल्स. चलिए लिखेंगे इसके अंदर समरी ट्रायल्स में. आई एम जस्ट वॉकिंग वाइल डिक्टेटिंग, तो ऐसा मत सोचना मैं कि चला गया, इधर ही हूं. हाँ जी. समरी ट्रायल as the name suggests, summary trial as the name suggests is hearing and disposing of the case at once, is hearing and disposing of the case at once, and is generally used in offenses not punishable with imprisonment, in offenses not punishable with imprisonment exceeding 2 years, exceeding 2 years. एक मिनट है दोस्तों, सिर्फ एक मिनट रुकिएगा. सुनो दोस्तों, 2 इयर्स हटाओ 3 इयर्स लिखो, 2 इयर्स हटाओ 3 इयर्स लिखो, 2 इयर्स कट करो 3 इयर्स लिखो. आई रिपीट, 2 इयर्स कट करो 3 इयर्स लिखो. और जहां पर आपके नोट्स की भी बात करें, आप अपने नोट्स में भी 2 इयर्स कट ही कर दो, खाली 3 इयर्स लिखो. गोइंग फॉरवर्ड, सेक्शन 283, सेक्शन 283, section 283 allows a CJM or a magistrate, CJM or a magistrate of the first class to try the following matters in a summary way, to try the following matters in a summary way. A, theft where the value of the property does not exceed 20,000, theft where the value of the property does not exceed 20,000. B, receiving any stolen property, receiving any stolen property, the value of which does not exceed 20,000, the value of which does not exceed 20,000. C. Helping in the concealment or disposal of the above mentioned property, helping in the concealment of or disposal of the above mentioned property. D. Insult with the intent to provoke breach of peace, with the intent to provoke breach of peace. Next, an attempt to commit any of the above offenses, or even abatement of the above offenses. Abatement of the above offenses. अच्छा, ये हो गए इसके सारे सब पॉइंट्स। अब नेक्स्ट मेन पॉइंट लिखना है अपने को, ठीक है? नेक्स्ट मेन पॉइंट, no appeal lies against the decision of a magistrate, against the decision of a magistrate to try any matter summarily, to try any matter summarily. Next point, the maximum sentence of imprisonment in summary trials, in summary trials, in summary trials cannot exceed 3 months, cannot exceed 3 months. Last point, when in the course of summary trial, where in the course of summary trial it appears to the magistrate, it appears to the magistrate it appears to the magistrate that the nature of the case is such that a summary trial would not do justice, that a summary trial would not do justice, that a summary trial would not do justice. Then he may recall all or any of the witnesses and proceed to rehear the case. proceed to rehear the case as per as per BNS BNSS BNSS BNSS. नेक्स्ट हेडिंग डालें कंपाउंडिंग, नेक्स्ट हेडिंग डालें कंपाउंडिंग, नेक्स्ट हेडिंग डालें कंपाउंडिंग। कंपाउंडिंग के अंदर लिखेंगे इट मीन्स सेटलमेंट of the offense between the parties between the parties between the parties with the consent of the court, comma, in such cases the future proceedings do not take place in the court. In such cases the future proceedings do not take place in the court. Do not take place in the court. Next point, the following offenses can be compounded. The following offenses can be compounded. A, voluntarily causing hurt or grievous hurt, voluntarily causing hurt or grievous hurt, by the person to whom the hurt is caused, by the person to whom the hurt is caused, by the person to whom the hurt is caused. B, wrongfully restraining or confining any person, wrongfully restraining or confining any person, by the person restrained or confined, by the person restrained or confined. C, in case of theft, in case of theft, by the owner of the stolen property, by the owner of the stolen property. D, in case of assault, in case of assault, comma, the person assaulted. E, in case of criminal breach of trust, comma, the owner of the property. the owner of the property. नेक्स्ट हेडिंग डालो बेल. नेक्स्ट हेडिंग डालो बेल. इसके अंदर फर्स्ट पॉइंट लिखेंगे. It is the temporary release. It is the temporary release of any person. It is the temporary release of any person. It is the temporary release of any person from the judicial custody. From the judicial custody into private custody. Into private custody. Into private custody. Into private custody. Comma. When a person arrested in a bailable offense, arrested in a bailable offense, arrested in a bailable offense, without warrant, without warrant, and is ready to give bail, and is ready to give bail, shall be released on bail, shall be released on bail, shall be released on bail. B. If the court thinks that the person is poor, if the court thinks that the person is poor and is unable to furnish surety, and is unable to furnish surety, then the court may give him bail, give him bail without taking bail bond, without taking bail bond, and discharge him on executing a bond, and discharge him on executing a bond, and discharge him on executing a bond. Third point, it shall be sufficient for the court, it shall be sufficient for the court to presume that a person is poor, that a person is poor, that a person is poor if he is unable to give bail bond within a week. If he is unable to give a bail bond within a week of his arrest. Next point. Next point. Next point. If a person fails to comply with the conditions of bail, if a person fails to comply with the condition of bail, then he may be arrested and refused of his right to bail, and refused of his right to bail, and refused of his right to bail. Okay, स्यू ब्रेक ले लें, स्यू ब्रेक. काफी अच्छा है यार. स्यू ब्रेक ले लेते हैं. लेट्स स्टार्ट बैक इन 2 minutes. चलो, तो 2 मिनट हाथ को ऐसा 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 ऐसा. क्या सोचा था संडे को, क्या करेंगे, और हाथों का ये शोषण. 15-20 मिनट और लिखते हैं. हाँ जी, जब तक 2 मिनट का ब्रेक है, सुसु करके आ जाएं. 2 से 3 मिनट में वापस स्टार्ट कर दूंगा मैं. प्लीज कीप एन आई ऑन द स्क्रीन. आई विल बी बैक. कूल. भाई तुम लोगों ने कुछ खाया कि नहीं खाया? मुझे अभी समझ में आया कि मैंने नाश्ता भी नहीं किया है। नाश्ता करने के बाद तो आ जाएगी ताकत। अब तो मुझे लग रहा है कि पूरे चैप्टर में लिखा दूं। हाँ जी। हेडिंग डालो, एंटिसिपेटरी बेल। एंटिसिपेटरी बेल। ये झूठ लो, सवा एक बजे कुछ खाया नहीं तुमने, नाटक खा रहे होगे साले मस्त मचक मचक के। सारी एक्टिंग कर लो अभी के भी। ज्यादा सेंटी सटायर्स मत दो, लिखना तो है ही। एंटिसिपेटरी बेल। उतने डायरेक्ट बैठ गए क्या? चलो ठीक है, मैं भी बाद में खा लूंगा। बस, इक्वल सिचुएशन। लेट्स स्टार्ट। हाँ जी। ए, व्हेन एनी पर्सन, व्हेन एनी पर्सन has reason to believe, has reason to believe, has reason to believe that he may be arrested, that he may be arrested, that he may be arrested for any non-bailable offense, for any non-bailable offense, for any non-bailable offense, for any non-bailable offense, then he may apply to the High Court or Session Court. Then he may apply to the High Court or Session Court for an for an for for an anticipatory bail. Second point, the court may make such a direction if the following conditions if the following conditions can be complied, can be complied. If the following conditions can be complied. A, that the person makes himself available for interrogation, that the person makes himself available for interrogation as and when required, that the person makes him available for interrogation as and when required. B, that he will not induce any witness or tamper any evidence, that he will not induce any witness or tamper any evidence. C, that he will not leave India, that he will not leave India without the prior approval of court, without the prior approval of court. D, any other condition. D, any other condition as may be required, as may be required. Next point. Next point. If such a person thereafter is arrested, if such a person thereafter is arrested without warrant, is prepared to give bail, is prepared to give bail, then he shall be released. Then he shall be released. And even if a magistrate issues a warrant of arrest, and even if a magistrate issues a warrant of arrest against the person, then it shall be a bailable warrant. 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 Next point. Nothing here applies in case of an offense of rape. An offense of rape covered under section 65 and 70 subsection 2. Covered under section 65 and section 70 subsection 2 of the BNS. Covered under section 65 and section 70 subsection 2 of the BNS. Next point. Next point. If the surety dies or becomes insolvent, if the surety dies or becomes insolvent, then the court may require a fresh surety to be provided to the court. A fresh surety. Next up. Limitation period in case of certain offenses. Period in case of certain offenses. Madhu. In certain offenses. ए मधु 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 लिखना. हाँ जी. Although limitation period does not apply in criminal cases, but delay may raise suspicions as well as be a hurdle in investigation. Next point. The BNSS has prescribed certain limitation periods. The BNSS has prescribed certain limitation periods for certain offences, comma, which are as follows, comma, which are as follows. A, a limitation period of 6 months, a limitation period of 6 months, a limitation period of 6 months if the offence is punishable with fine only, a limitation period of 6 months if the offence is punishable with fine only. B, 1 year if the offence is 1 year, 1 year if the offence is punishable with imprisonment not exceeding 1 year, punishable with imprisonment not exceeding 1 year, punishable with imprisonment not exceeding 1 year. अच्छा, सी सेम ही लिखो, खाली 3 years लिख दो, सी में 3 years if the offence punishable is not punishable with imprisonment exceeding 3 years. भाई मैं एक बार में आधे लीटर से ज्यादा पानी पी गया, देश का पानी मैं ही पी रहा हूं। हाँ जी, नेक्स्ट अप, if there are multiple offenses, if there are multiple offenses, नेक्स्ट पॉइंट है, सब पॉइंट नहीं है, if there are multiple offenses, if there are multiple offenses which can be tried together, which can be tried together, then the limitation period of the most severe offense is to be taken, of the most severe offense is to be taken. नेक्स्ट हेडिंग डालना, commencement of period of limitation, commencement of period of limitation. इसके अंदर लिखेंगे लिमिटेशन पीरियड शैल कमेंस, इसके अंदर लिखेंगे लिमिटेशन पीरियड शैल कमेंस, और अब एबीसी करके लिखेंगे इसके अंदर, लिमिटेशन पीरियड शैल कमेंस, एबीसी करके लिखेंगे ए, फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ द ऑफेंस, फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ द ऑफेंस, ए फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ द ऑफेंस, B, where the offense was not known to the person aggrieved, where the offense was not known to the person aggrieved, comma, then the first day on which, then the first day on which, then the first day on which the offense comes into the knowledge of the person, the offense comes into the knowledge of the person, the offense comes into the knowledge of the person. C, where it is not known as to who did the offense. As to who did the offense. As to who did the offense. Comma. Then the first day on which the identity of the offender is known. Then the first day on which the identity of the offender is known. अब नेक्स्ट में नोट करके लिखना, पॉइंट नोट को जाने की जरूरत नहीं, खाली लाइन चेंज करके नोट लिखो. The day on which, from which the period is to be computed, the day on which the period is to be computed shall be excluded. Shall be excluded. Shall be excluded. नेक्स्ट को हेडिंग की तरह लिखेंगे. वैसे हेडिंग भी नहीं लिखा, पॉइंट ही लिख लो. उसके अंदर एबीसी करेंगे. मेन पॉइंट डालना. मेन पॉइंट डालना. एक्सक्लूजन ऑफ टाइम इन सर्टेन केसेस. एक्सक्लूजन ऑफ टाइम इन सर्टेन केसेस. शिवांश वो सब अभी टेलीग्राम पे आ जाएंगी. एक्सक्लूजन ऑफ टाइम in certain cases. A, the period during which another prosecution, the period during which another prosecution, the period during which another prosecution on the same facts, on the same facts was being prosecuted, on the same facts was being prosecuted. B, the period of the stay order, the period of the stay order granted against the institution of prosecution, granted against the institution of prosecution. C, when notice of prosecution is given, when notice of prosecution is given, when notice of prosecution is given, comma, that period, comma, that period D, where previous consent of any authority is to be taken, where previous consent of any authority is to be taken, then the time required to obtain the consent, then the time required to obtain that consent. E, the time during which the offender is absent from India, the time during which the offender is absent from India or is concealing himself, or is concealing himself, or is concealing himself. अब लाइन चेंज करना, नोट करके लिखना, नोट करके लिखना. If the limitation period expires on a day, if the limitation period expires on a day when the court is closed, when the court is closed, then the period ends on the next day. Then the period ends on the next day when the court reopens. When the court reopens. Yo, dude, how's it going? How's it going? What's up? What's up? What's up, people? Are you writing well? Are your hands okay, my love? एग्जीक्यूटिव का जलवा देखना था और मजा आ रहा है. ऐसे होती कंटिन्यूस सिटिंग, तब आता है मजा. हाँ जी, बड़े लिखें थोड़ा सा और. हम बीएनएसएस के लास्ट टॉपिक तक तो आ भी गए ब्रो. अच्छा, एक काम करो, लास्ट टॉपिक लिख लो, कंटिन्यूइंग ऑफेंसेस, एंड उसके बाद उठ जाते हैं. बीएनएस से कल लिखेंगे, ठीक है. लास्ट टॉपिक लिख लो, कंटिन्यूइंग ऑफेंसेस. दैट्स इट. चलो जल्दी से हेडिंग डाल दो, कंटिन्यूइंग ऑफेंसेस. सो लास्ट 5-7 minutes with my cuties before I say bye bye. चलो, a continuing offense means a continuing offense means a continuing offense means which is committed for a very long period, which is committed for a very long period. Comma, it is nowhere defined, it is nowhere defined and clearly depends on its nature, and clearly depends on its nature. Next point, continuing offense पे कहीं direct question ना आ जाए. Next point, the offense which is happening again and again, the offense which is happening again and again falls under the category of continuing offense. Falls under the category of continuing offense. Falls under the category of continuing offense. And in such cases, a fresh period of limitation begins at every moment during which the offense continues. At every moment during which the offense continues. Next point, in Uday Shankar Avasthi versus State of UP, in Uday Shankar Avasthi versus State of UP, the court observed The court observed that this word has not been defined because it does not have a fixed meaning and cannot have a universal application. Next point. In the case of state of Bihar, in the case of state of Bihar, in the case of state of Bihar versus Deokaran, 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 right? Deokaran. The court stated that a continuing offense is one which is susceptible, 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 susceptible of continuance and can be distinguished and can be distinguished and can be distinguished and can be distinguished from those offenses which are committed at once, लाइन चेंज करना, सेम पॉइंट में चलने देना. So these are offenses which arises out of failure to comply any rule, and involves a penalty and the liability of which continues until it is complied with, comma, hence an offense which continues and constitutes a fresh offense every time until it continues is a continuing offense. Last point. in Gokak Patel, Gokak Patel, in Gokak Patel Wolcart, Volkart, इसको इतना रेफरेंस में मत लेना, मतलब ऐसे भी एक तीसरा पॉइंट लिखा के दे रहा हूं, अपना काम ऊपर खत्म हो गया, थर्ड पॉइंट क्या गया आप लिख लेना जस्ट फॉर रेफरेंस, ठीक है, साइड में लिख लेना। इन गोकक पटेल वॉलकार्ट, गोकक Gokak, पटेल Patel, वॉलकार्ट इज Volkart लिमिटेड वर्सेस Tundaya, Dayya, इसके आगे डैश मतलब in the case of this, comma, the Supreme Court held that whether an offense is a continuing offense, or not, depends upon the language of the law, declaring such act as an offense, comma, the nature of the offense, and the purpose. देखो दोस्तों, पहुंच तो अपन गए हैं, लिखने अब सिर्फ 3 ही पेज और हैं, बोलो तो 3 पेज भी और लिखा दो। अ फीलिंग ऑफ सेटिस्फैक्शन एट पीक कि ब्रो पूरा ही टारगेट अचीव हो गया। आई एम अ पर्सनैलिटी विच बिहेव्स लाइक दिस कि मैं खुद को शॉर्ट टारगेट देके एंड तक पहुंच ही जाता हूं, फाइंड तक। बट अगर आपको लगता है कि बहुत थक गए हैं तो यू डन गुड, नॉट ग्रेट बट गुड, जैसा आप बोले। नहीं, यस लिली, ओके, कल लिखवा दे तो चलो एक काम करेंगे, कल 15-20 मिनट 25 मिनट एक्स्ट्रा बैठेंगे लेक्चर के एंड में, और ये बचा हुआ भी खत्म ही कर लेंगे कल, ठीक है। चलिए ठीक है, एज द ऑडियंस सेस, हम आपके सेवक, तो धन्यवाद इस लेक्चर में बैठने के लिए। मैं नहीं थका बट ठीक है, कूल, हैव अ गुड वन, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर बीइंग देयर, एंड ठीक है, नॉट सेटिस्फाइड, ओके, क्लोज टू सेटिस्फाइड, टेक केयर, ओके पीपल, लॉट्स एंड लॉट्स ऑफ लव, हैव अ गुड वन, बाय बाय। वीडियो लाइक कर देना, कमेंट ड्रॉप कर देना, इफ द एफर्ट्स आर वर्थ इट, बाय।